What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam tuloy. Gab. Gab here, the Sultan. Isa ko, na-stuck sa utak ko eh. Gab here, the Sultan of Sado, with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Mawia, back from the land of the rising sun. No Sam here today. Okay, you medyo nagulat ako kanina na wala si Sam. Yung sanay ako na si Sam yung nag-i-intro eh. So, Sam's not here. He's with family, preparing for his brother's wedding next week. They have a bunch of family reunions. So, will not be able to join us for the Final Four. He'll definitely be watching, but he won't be joining us for our podcast. Maui, kamusta ang pagluloksa mo sa Japan na natalo ang Ateneo Blue Eagles?
Nakabalik din tayo finally on the podcast. Hindi tayo nagtatago. I just want to make it clear, hindi tayo nagtatago kahit talo ang Ateneo. I had a family vacation and unfortunately our itinerary was so packed because my mom has so many Japanese foster brothers. Almost every night when we were in Tokyo, we were drinking in izakayas, and they're actually surprised that I was so invested in watching games. Kasi when we were in the izakayas, I was watching the live stream on my phone for some of the games.
Naubusan ka na naman ng data. Mga ilang beses ka naubusan ng data? Mga 2 or 3 times?
2 or 3 times. I had to renew my data 2 or 3 times just because of the UAAP. That's how crazy it was. And unfortunately, when si Gab and Sam started recording some of the episodes, I was already too intoxicated to join the episode, so I decided not to. That was so much how fun the Japan trip was. If you guys are looking for the cheapest data, you can subscribe. You can check your travel plans in GCash. Baka naman GCash. Sponsor nyo na kaning ng Boleros.
GCash. Baka naman. But speaking of sponsors, we do have to give a shout out to the sponsor of this episode, Varsity Lifestyle Co., the official licensed merchandise of the UAAP. And Final Four is coming up on Wednesday. 2 big matchups that we will talk about here. Me and Maui will do a preview of the Final Four. So if you want to get some merch representing your school, NU, UST, UP, or LaSalle, if you want to attend the games on Wednesday, buy some merch from Varsity Lifestyle Co. They have shirts, hoodies, caps, and all sorts of stuff, ballers, stickers, all sorts of stuff that you can buy to support your own school for the Final Four. And if you want to get 10% off your order, because who doesn't want a discount, you can use our voucher code BOLEROS upon checkout to get 10% off your order. Yan. So, check out our sponsor, Varsity Lifestyle Co. And, of course, kung gusto nyo samahan yung game day fit nyo ng Boleros cap, you can always click the order form in the description. We'll also be pinning it as a comment. And you can buy yourselves some Boleros caps. The pink one is back in stock. We still have some beige.
The bestseller,
brown one. The bestseller is the pink one. So it is back in stock. But I heard that the demand for the beige one has increased. So baka mag-add na naman kami ng stocks. But thank you to those who already purchased, and I hope those of you who still don't have the Boleros cap will think about buying one for the upcoming Final Four and the finals if ever one of your teams makes it to the finals. Okay, as I said, we are doing a preview of the Final Four. There are 2 matchups, juicy matchups, Maui. I think there's a lot of things to talk about for both matchups. NU versus LaSalle, the number 1 seeded NU Bulldogs versus the number 4 seed De La Salle Green Archers. Siguro if you were in the preseason, Maui, hindi mo ini-expect na number 4 ang Lasal as number 1 ang NU. I think you would have...
Baliktad. Ang expectation natin, I think, from the power rankings.
Diba? Yun yung ating expectation that Lasal or UP would be number 1 or 2, and then any one of the other teams would be number 4. But hence, NU is number 1, LaSalle is number 4. And in the second matchup, I think the second game on Wednesday, it will be the defending champions, the UP Fighting Maroons, versus the UST Growling Tigers. So how are we going to go about this preview? So we'll tackle a few things. One, we'll do maybe a key matchup that Maui and I are looking for in each game. We'll do a key storyline, or maybe a spicy storyline that we're looking forward to, that we want to watch out for. For each matchup, we'll probably do an X Factor, and we'll do our predictions. Of course, so yung sa Boleros, hindi kami takot. Yung magka-prediction, hindi kami takot kahit na jinx ang aming yung Ateneo Blue Eagles. We still do predictions, diba? Kahit na jinx namin yung Ateneo, hindi kami nang itatago. We will still do our predictions here on Bolero. So let's go to the first matchup. The NU Bulldogs versus the De La Salle Green Archers. Maui, what is the key matchup you're looking forward to in this siguro possibly 1 or 2 game series?
Actually, if you look at the matchups, I wanted to say somebody with Figueroa, but there's no wing to match up with Figueroa when you talk about LaSalle. So I'll probably look at yung Omar John versus Mike Phillips. We probably would see Mike Phillips put up better numbers than Omar John. It would probably be a miracle if si Omar John outplayed Mike Phillips based on the stat sheet, in my opinion. But if Omar John can make Mike Phillips work for his rebounds, work for his baskets, I think NU has a pretty good chance. They've dominated LaSalle this past season. And they were one of the teams that were they were the only team that beat UP in LaSalle, diba, last season without an FSA. And if you remember correctly, even during their first round encounter against LaSalle without an FSA, they were able to get go toe-to-toe. So NU has matched up pretty well with LaSalle, and but I'm excited to see. We've talked about Omar John. We've talked about so many things. I think this is gut check time, as they say, playoffs time. We will know if it's for real, the breakout of Omar John. And I think the perfect matchup is against Mike Phillips, the runner-up to the MVP, si John Ray Pasaol this season, and was a favorite, I think, in MVP circles for most people in the UAAP. But I think that's where that's very important. How the NU bigs are able to manhandle or to manhandle the other bigs of LaSalle, and how they are able to manage Mike Phillips in the finals.
I agree, no? Now, I think this goes both ways, Maui. If Omar John gets into foul trouble, I think you'll see a lot of PJ Palacielo, Kenshin Padrones trying to match up with Mike Phillips. And siguro on offense, kaya makamatch up ni PJ Palacielo. I mean, he is a big dude, but in terms of speed, athleticism, he's nowhere near Mike Phillips. The same thing goes if Mike Phillips gets into foul trouble. Now, we know NU loves to go to Omar John in the post. They do love to go to PJ Palacielo when he's in the game and run offense through him. That front court matchup is definitely going to be important. Kasi Maui, kung isipin mo, si Mike Phillips na talaga yung ginagamit na center ng LaSalle. Si Bright
He's the only legitimate big.
Yeah, si Brighton Wangko parang forever na sa doghouse yan eh. Yung kailangan nila ng malaki, Coach Topek has never shown the willingness to actually use Brighton Wangko for extended minutes. So, LaSalle is going to be in trouble if Mike Phillips gets into foul trouble. We're going to see a lot of small lineups with Pablo. Even si Mason will have to take up his minutes more, play more, essentially. especially if they're gonna match up with the big boys of NU, sila Padrones and Palacelo and Simon de la Cruz. So I think that is a very important matchup, and rebounding essentially is gonna be a big thing here. LaSalle lives a lot on second chance points that Mike Phillips provides. If NU can limit that, they're gonna have a good shot. If they can get defensive stops, they're gonna have a good shot of beating the De La Salle Green Archers and heading to the finals. Pero para sa akin, yung main matchup that I'm looking forward to is all of NU's perimeter defenders against Jacob Cortez and possibly si Kian Baclaan. The last time we saw Jacob Cortez, he struggled against the NU defense. I think you mainly see Mark Parks was giving him a lot of trouble because Mark Parks was not biting on those shot fakes, was not biting for his mga Euro step niya, mga Pinoy step niya. He was not biting on them, was keeping in pace, shadowing him the entire game. I think had a bad shooting night, was 2 out of 14, I think, in their last matchup. Si Jacob. So the perimeter defenders have shown the ability that they can keep in step with Jacob. How is Jacob gonna respond to that? We saw a big game from Jacob Cortez, Maui. I'm sure napanood mo yun when he killed Ateneo, literally, the dagger. Hindi ko alam kung happy ka or sad ka kasi fan ka ni Jacob Cortez. Pero Ateneo fan ka, pero nakita mo si Jacob Cortez, pinapatay yung Ateneo. Hindi ko alam kung happy ka nun. But yeah, that's gonna be something that I'm gonna watch. I think they're gonna take turns. It's gonna be probably si Mark Parks, some Paul Francisco.
Santiago will be back.
Yes, and Jello Santiago is gonna be back, and he is one of the primary perimeter defenders of Jeff Napa. So that's definitely a matchup for me that I am going to look at if they can limit Jacob Cortez to inefficient shooting, to bad shots, to forced shots, then NU again will have a good shot of winning this game. Your thoughts, Mauro?
Yeah, I think it goes both ways when you talk about yung wings naman ng LaSalle, diba? They'll have their hands plenty with Jake Figueroa's season so far. I think we have to say Figueroa was supposed to be the MVP, is the MVP.
He is our Boleros MVP, Maui. I'm not gonna back down on that.
If we do an award show, I'm sure that Figueroa should be the MVP. Nothing against what Pasaol was able to accomplish this season. I would say he's probably one of the most improved players, but NU's the number one team. Figueroa has been so clutch this season, and I think that non-bearing game, their last game against UST, was the one game that really prevented him from winning the MVP this season. But the LaSalle Wings, again, you talked about the perimeter guys of NU limiting Jacob Cortez. If LaSalle's wing players can make Jake Figueroa's life miserable, destroy his efficiency, force him to make others, force him to pass in the clutch, and make others win them the game, I think LaSalle is in a pretty good position. I think that's been one of the biggest indicators of the success of LaSalle this season. When the wing players, when Gulena, when Marasigan, when Dungo, when Abadam, when these guys contribute, regardless who's healthy, who's not, usually tends to end with LaSalle wins. And I think if they are to force a slugfest and another game against NU, we will have to see a big game between some of these guys. Maybe Abadam, Marasigan, or Makalalag. These guys have to step up. We don't know what version of Kian Baclaan will return during this game. Mason Amos is clearly still trying to get his conditioning going. So it will have to be the guys that has been carrying LaSalle, that has been carrying the mantle this season. They will have to contribute, else Jacob Cortez will have to force shots. I think that's very important. And for them to be successful, I think they have to do a better job of limiting Figueroa's facilitating and scoring opportunities.
All right. So let's go now, Maui, to a key storyline that you're looking forward to in this matchup. I'll go first, and you did mention it earlier. Kian Baclaan is returning. Now, there are a few storylines that you can go with this. Pero ako, para sa akin, how will this affect LaSalle's play? Because in my opinion, they have been playing better without Kian Baclaan. We've seen the role players step up. Abadam, Marasigan has been great the past couple of games.
Outside the ejection.
Outside of the ejection, yes, but he was not suspended, so that's a good thing, diba? So, guys like Makalalag, Dungo, they're getting more touches. How is it gonna affect their defense? How is it gonna affect their style of play? Maui, when Kian Baclaan went out of the lineup, LaSalle essentially tried to slow down the game, play more zone, diba? Play more in the half court, less running. Are they still going to play that same way? Are we still going to see the same effectiveness, the same effort, the same gana from guys like Abadam, Marasigan? Are they going to be aggressive, looking for their shot, just as they have been for nearly the entire season since Kian Baclaan was injured? Or are we going to see the same Earl Abadam and Boris Marasigan, EJ Goliana from the first few games of this season, where they were just hanging out in the corner, just waiting for the ball from either Cortez and Baclaan? Just essentially shooters. They've been more than just shooters in majority of this season. For majority of this season, that's interesting to me. I don't think Kian Baclaan, as you said, Maui, is just coming back from injury. I assume he's not yet as well conditioned as he should be. So he's probably gonna get minimal minutes.
It's a leg injury.
It is a leg. It's a knee injury ba? Joint diba? So I don't think he's gonna play like 20 plus minutes of that. But of course, when you have a talent like Kian Baclaan, an offensive talent like Kian Baclaan, when he's on the floor, he's gonna have the ball in his hands. So how is that gonna affect the other guys who have been playing well? And is their defense gonna keep up? They've been playing decent defense actually since Kian Baclaan got injured. Is that gonna change now? Now that Kian is back? Siguro the other storyline with Kian Baclaan returning, there's always been some beef between him and his former teammates in NU. And
his coach,
ex-coach, yes. And for once again, sila naman, yung NU naman ang may twice to beat advantage. So si Kian naman ang kailangan manalo, just like as he did as an NU Bulldog. So definitely we're gonna watch the beef watch. Kung may beef ba talaga si Kian Baclaan at yung kanyang mga former NU teammates. Because for the preseason, obviously meron. And let's not forget, Maui, siguro I'm stealing another storyline. Mason Amos got injured versus NU. So is there any beef there?
He continued to post on social media weeks after getting injured.
Yep. So let's see. Is there gonna be some bad blood? Is there gonna be some shoving going on? May bawian? Hopefully wala. Walang people trying to hurt other people. But there's definitely a lot of issues. Let's just say that between NU and LaSalle. So that's something to watch out for in this game on Wednesday. Maui, your key storyline.
Yeah, ganda ng choice mo. I don't think Kian Baclaan or LaSalle imagined them in this situation during the preseason. Going up against NU with a twice to beat disadvantage at this stage of the tournament. But that's how it works. Diba? The season has been crazy. I think if you were to ask me a storyline, I would start with a joke. Maybe who will get ejected for Santiago or Marasigan for this game.
Sana naman wala.
Hopefully,
Please lang.
yeah, hopefully none. But we want a physical game because this is the Final Four. But we don't want anyone getting hurt. I think that's the main thing. We don't want others getting hurt purposely because of the physicality. So hopefully we get a very intense game. But kidding aside, one storyline that I would be looking at here in this game is, will Jake Figueroa rise up to the occasion finally in his last playing season? I think they have to beat LaSalle during the first game. If they give LaSalle a chance, given all the talent that they have, I think they would be in a precarious situation. I don't want, if I'm NU, I want to end this on Wednesday. Get to the finals, bring all the momentum. I think that's one of the main reasons why si Coach Jeff continued to play some of his key guys against UST. And I think one of our commenters said that purposely tinanggal si Figueroa because he wasn't showing effort. And I think NU has to be good from the get-go. You should not give this LaSalle team a chance. And I think it starts from the top. Figueroa has to bring it on both ends of the floor. Figueroa has to be his best self, facilitating, scoring in the clutch. And he has to validate. He has to validate our choice of him being the real MVP for this season. I want him to thrive because I think getting an international contract will probably be dictated by how he performs in the preseason. So there's a lot of things at stake, and I'm excited to see, is there another gear to Jake Figueroa, much like what we saw with Terdy Ravena in Ateneo's previous Final Four runs? Because I think there is. He can continue to shock us based on what we've seen in the season.
Good point, no. I am also watching Jake Figueroa and how he performs, because ito na yun eh. Ito na yung chip. All chips are on the table.
All in na.
All in. This is his
Wala nang balikan.
This is his best chance to win a title. This is his best chance to win a title. They have a twice-to-win advantage. They have a veteran team. They have an FSA, a very good one in Omar John. They have a deep team, and I think if there is a time to step up and to bring out all of the skills that you have, it is now. I actually agree, Maui. The best chance for them is to finish it off in one game. They cannot let this go to a do or die, because Mike Phillips in a do or die game is gonna be pretty scary. Okay, Maui, X Factor. Sino X Factor mo na hindi star player or someone that people are not really thinking about?
Yeah, my X Factor for this game is probably still gonna be it's hard for me to choose, but it has to be one LaSalle wing player, and I think it's Erlo Badam. I'm torn between him and Marasigan, but I'll go with a steady hand because maybe si Marasigan gets crazy and gets ejected in the first half. But I think si Erlo Badam, he's shown that he can carry the torch when it matters and when nobody is stepping up. I think he's hit so many clutch shots for LaSalle after those injuries to Mason Amos and Kian Baclaan. I think he has to show that he belongs. I'm not sure if is this his last season already.
According to some LaSallians, he still has one more playing year. So baka may isa pa.
I think the shooters have to step up, and I think si Abadam has to be a consistent one. The reason why LaSalle won that previous championship was because they had so many steady shooters, unsung heroes like Escandor, Mark Nonoy, who hit so many 3-point shots. I think Abadam has to be consistent, and I think he he has gotten his rhythm back, definitely, with all of those guys back. And I'll be looking at how he performs when Kian Baclaan returns and when Mason Amos gets more minutes. So I'm rooting for this guy. I've said it, I think, in the past.
You've been pretty high on him since seasons ago.
Seasons ago on Abadam. And hopefully, he finally shows out because he's had a pretty good second round, without a doubt, being one of the clutch players for LaSalle.
It's a good point, Maui. I think LaSalle is one of the worst teams in terms of three-point shooting. And we saw the effect in that Ateneo game of having multiple shooters on the floor. So if a guy like Earl Abadam, if guys like Guliana and Makalalag can show that they can knock down their threes, it's going to create a lot of space for guys like Mike Phillips and Jacob Cortez to operate and attack the paint. So a pretty good pick. So ang ganda because your X Factor is from LaSalle. My X Factor is from NU. And it's my boy, PJ Palacielo. Because if you remember, Maui, I think in both matchups with LaSalle this season, PJ Palacielo had good games off the bench, scoring a ton. As I said, he's kind of a mismatch for Mike Phillips because he's way stronger than Mike. I think we've seen this now multiple times. He backs down Mike in the post. Umaatras si Mike. He does not have the girth. He does not have the inertia and the force of PJ Palacielo in the post. He's one of the guys that I don't think anyone on LaSalle can match up with because, again, just his post moves and his strength alone, he's unstoppable. Actually, I think in that second round game, LaSalle had to throw double teams at PJ. Even with Mike Phillips on him, they had to throw double teams because he was just
looking like Carl Tamayo.
Exactly.
This was the game that we said he was looking like Carl Tamayo.
Yeah, he was hitting baseline mid-rangers, long twos, then getting hook shots over and over, creating space with that big body. So I think he's going to play a big role off the bench. He's played a big role off the bench for majority of the season. They run a lot of offense through him whenever he's on the court. So if he can be efficient, yung finding those cutters, you off the post action, they love doing that. Si Jolo yung loves coming from the weak side, and si Palacielo will throw a fastball pass inside the paint to Jolo or to Jake. They love doing this. They love running offense through PJ. And if he can provide that much needed offensive punch from off the bench, I think NU has a good chance to win this game. I'm looking forward to PJ matching up with the LaSalle front line. As I said, I love watching this guy cook in the post. I think he's vastly improved from last season. Yung playmaking niya and yung court vision niya yung from that post action. So yeah, I'm definitely watching out for PJ Palacielo. Maui, prediction. Ito na.
The hard part.
Who do you have?
To be honest, it's pretty hard. I don't know if the UP UST one is probably more easier for me to predict. But I'll try to sway. I think LaSalle will upset NU. Maybe I'm still not a believer of NU. Maybe this series, this matchup can make me believe that they are for real. It's pretty hard to still trust them until they get to the finals, because I think that's the only time that you can say that they've had a pretty successful season. This is a long time coming. Them getting that twice to beat advantage and then eventually getting to the finals. This is their biggest chance. But I wouldn't count LaSalle out with all the talent, with the coaching staff. I just think that this team has that gear in them. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see, as you mentioned, how they will match everything up now that they get two of their star players back. Because they pretty much played pretty well without those two guys. One could argue even better, as you said on the podcast numerous times. But I'll be crazy to my LaSalle friends. Kakampi ako and I'll say I think that LaSalle could upset NU during this twice to beat advantage.
Okay. I love that you went with LaSalle because I am going with NU. No, I don't think they can do it in one game. But because I'm biased, I want more games. So
NU in 2 games.
Yeah, I always want more games. More games for us to talk about now. So I think this is gonna go to a do or die matchup. But I think NU can pull this out. Now I know, diba, it's hard to believe. Ang hirap i-believe because we've seen this NU team choke so many times, diba? Just look at this season against the UP Fighting Maroons. They've choked at times talaga this season. But I don't know. Jake Figueroa
looks different.
Diba?
Feels different.
It feels different. It looks like they're hungrier. They know when to turn it on. They know when to lock down on defense. Jake Figueroa knows when it's winning time. He knows when to take over. I think I've seen enough from Jake. I think he will step up. He will deliver in 2 games. I think 2 games. Please just give us 2 games. Ayoko na ng isa. Gusto ko dalawa. Yung biased ako for yung for more games. But I think NU is headed to the finals. Ang ganda because I didn't really have LaSalle. So kami ni Maui yung magkaiba. For those who are watching, let us know in the comments your own predictions for this NU LaSalle matchup. Okay, Maui. Let's go to, I think, I don't know if it's the more anticipated one, but definitely siguro the hotly contested one based on their last matchup. The UP Fighting Maroons, the defending champions, versus the UST Growling Tigers. So, I'll go first. Key matchup in this game. I think we all know where we're going with this. Collins Akoe versus the entire front line of the UP Fighting Maroons. Because essentially, in 2 games this season, Collins Akoe has destroyed the front line of the UP Fighting Maroons. They have
26 fouls drawn yata in 2 games. I think 13 both games, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Francis Noruka is not the answer. Has not found an answer to Collins Akoe. It's not a good matchup to Collins Akoe. Gani Stevens is not a good matchup to Collins Akoe. Miguel Palanca definitely is not. Collins Akoe just feasts on him whenever he's there. Sean Alter definitely is not yet. But let's see what schemes Coach Gold can come up with to try and slow down Collins Akoe. It will be interesting how many free throw attempts Collins Akoe gets, or how much
he will get a lot.
He will get a
I
lot.
think that's for sure.
Yeah, and how much UST will try to feed Collins Akoe. Diba? Yun eh. There are times, especially nung second round matchup nila, si Miguel Palanca yung tao ni Collins Akoe, but UST was not going to Collins Akoe, and I was shouting at the TV screen, go to Collins. It's Miguel Palanca on him. Easy money. Miguel Palanca is like a foot shorter. Just give it to Collins. Hindi naman. That's an exaggeration. Pero is way shorter and less beefy than Collins Akoe. I expect Collins Akoe will play close to 40 minutes, Maui. I don't think...
All in.
Unless he gets into foul trouble and they have to rely on Koji Benaflor or Echo Laure, I think we're going to see Collins Akoe play close to 40 minutes in this game. I mean, this is their season. If they lose, they're gone. So, yeah, I think that's the matchup everyone is looking forward to. The Collins Akoe versus the UP front court. Ikaw, Maui, what's the matchup you're most looking forward to?
Ako definitely, I would say yung guards. When you talk about UP versus UST. I think Limogat and Alarcon, and maybe include na si Abadiano versus Nick Cabanero and Forty Padrigao plus Paranada. Those 3 people, I think, are very exciting guys to watch. I think si Rimogat and Fortsky are 2 of the most electrifying point guards in the UAAP. Their passes are crazy. They take so many chances, shoot 3-point shots way outside the 3-point line. make crazy passes that make you go wow. And I think the steadying presence of Cabanero and Alarcon will also be something I will be looking out for. Alarcon has struggled the past few games, which is very surprising to me because I thought tuloy-tuloy na. I thought he finally found his groove and it will be finally be consistently dominant especially on the offensive end. And lastly, I think we will see a Paranada outburst or an Abadiano outburst in the game, and it's certainly exciting. Both are spark plugs, defensive menaces and spark plugs. When they are hot, they look like superstars. Just look at what Jerry Abadiano did to Ateneo, and just look at what Paranada has done to so many teams this season. Scoring in bunches, these two. They go on personal scoring runs, and it's exciting for me, which is why I think the guard play of both teams will be something I'll be looking forward to during this game. Definitely exciting.
Actually, they have very UP has a very deep backcourt, but UST also has a pretty decent or deep backcourt. Sila Liemit, you can play some guard. You mentioned that the 2-point guard si Paranada and si Padrigao. Ivan Calum, you get some minutes of the bench. I don't think we're gonna see some Ice Danting. I know he's been in the doghouse for majority of the second round. As you know, but Amiel Acido does play some guard wing minutes sometimes. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting matchup. Pero Maui, ano yung storyline na the key storyline that you're tracking in this game or games?
Yeah. Again, I'm torn between two players. But it's for UST. It's both Fortsky and Cabanero's last playing year in the UAAP. Will they end it on a sour note, or will they triumph and force another game against UP and eventually have a chance to upset the defending champions? It keeps coming back. I was watching yung game ng CSB and Mapua, and I couldn't help but be so sad for how bad the ending of the season of the career of Echamis was for Mapua. And I think both of these guys should watch those games and make this as a motivational tool to be better because it's all in. Fortsky, this is his last chance to redeem himself in the UAAP and make him probably be a legend. Get 2 championships from 2 different teams, much like Richie Rivera. Or will Cabanero finally be a top gun on a top team? So I'm excited to see, will they bring out another beast? Will Cabanero have the game of his life? Because this is something that Cabanero has been waiting for 5 seasons. A chance to get to the finals. Last season, he got some taste of playoff action. This season will be his last and only chance to bring UST back on the top of the UAAP.
Okay. Ang ganda ng pick, no? You're focused on the 2 star seniors of the UST Growling Tigers. Pero para sa akin, ang key storyline dito, Maui, is fouls. Kasi it was the biggest storyline. For sure. Diba? For sure. Yung marami dyan, yung mga sabi, uy, nilaluto kami, ang daming fouls, uy, ba't yan tinatawag? Ganon, diba? So, it was I think the craziest storyline of their last matchup in the second round. I think how many free throws were awarded to UST? I think there was 35 free throws or something like that.
Wasn't it 50?
Yeah, it was 50. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah.
Kasi it was more than the free throws of Lasal against Ateneo. Di ba yung 45? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Tama. It was around 50 free throws. So are we gonna expect the same? Because UP UP plays hard defense. I think that's something that needs to be addressed. I think we've said this multiple times over the past couple of seasons. They toe the line between what's a foul and what's not. They hand check, they grab, they bump. They do this. Very physical defense ang UP Fighting Maroons. So it's not a surprise that they get a ton of fouls and that they lead the UAAP in fouls. Diba? And with a guy like yung Colin Sokoe in the paint who's nigh unstoppable, they're probably gonna get into a ton of foul trouble. So how deep into the bench is Coach Gold gonna go into? Are we gonna see some Chico Briones action? Are we gonna see some extended minutes from Iniguez to stretch out the floor? Because he was effective during their last matchup, Maui. I think we kind of forget that when they were down, when their starting bigs and Stevens and Noruka were in foul trouble, they went small. They wanted to stretch the floor, and it kind of works. Iniguez can knock down threes. So
I'm wondering 3 3-pointers.
Yep, he did. He was actually the reason that the game turned around. Remember, I think UST was up big in the first half, and when they inserted Iniguez in that small lineup, Colin Sokoe was essentially not guarding him on the perimeter. Will Coach Gold go to a same strategy? Because I think the bigs are gonna be in a ton of foul trouble guarding Colin Sokoe. So we talk about fouls. We also gonna have to talk about free throws, Maui, because that was also the storyline in their last game. USC missing 24 free throws in a 1-point game, in a 1-point loss. That is horrific. It's the same sickness gonna affect the USD Growling Tigers. UP, I think, is the best free throw shooting team in the UAAP. So if they hit their free throws and USD doesn't, that's advantage to UP. So USD, Collins, you're definitely gonna get a ton of free throw shots. Is he gonna knock them down? Is Cabanero gonna knock them down? Heck, are the rest of the team gonna knock down their free throws?
Fortsky also missed crucial free throws in that game.
Yeah, exactly. Si Fortsky, actually, Maui, lahat naman ata. Everyone was missing free throws for USD during that game. But I think that's the biggest storyline for me, the fouls and the free throw shooting, because those were essentially the big storylines in their last matchup. I think they're gonna creep up also in this game. Sige, Maui, your X factor. Sige, siguro you can give one, or you can give one from each team. Kabala.
Yeah, I think for UST it has to be Crisostomo, who had a breakout game in their last game despite losing to FEU. He has to play better. I think during the second round matchup, Belmonte and Iniguez had good games. And I think Cabanero, Fortsky, and Akoe are constants. It's a matter of asking who'll be that fourth guy. Will it be Lemit? Will it be Crisostomo? I think Crisostomo has to have a big game. I think he has to use his advantage of either speed or size. And he has to be aggressive, crashing the board also.
And he has to not get into foul trouble. I think he fouled out in the last matchup nila.
Yes, definitely. I think he has to do a better job of staying on the floor. He is so important to what UST is doing. He's one of the reasons why they are a top team. Even without putting up numbers, his versatility as a forward, as a shooter, as a guy who can rebound on the weak side, get offensive rebounds and easy putbacks. He's very important. He's their glue guy. Him and Lemit are so important to UST's chances against UP. Lemit will definitely bring the heart and the energy, but Crisostomo has to have a big game for UST to have a chance. For UP, talk about X factors. Sige, I'll give it to Sean Alters. Been playing better, a lot better during the end of the eliminations. And with UP not finding a solution to Colin Sokoe in 2 games already, I think every big is crucial. And I think the Alter minutes, if they can keep that on a ±0, I think UP has a very good chance of ending this in a game.
Wow, I did not expect a Sean Alter pick from you, Mr. Maui Yap. Ako, as an X Factor, I'm gonna go to UP first, and it's kind of weird calling him an X Factor, but he has not been playing well recently. But it's Harold Alarcon. In their last matchup with UST, Harold Alarcon destroyed UST from the high pick and roll with either Noruka or Gani Stevens. I think we're gonna see the same, either with Remogat or Alarcon, yung high pick and roll. How is Colin Sakoe and how is the UST coaching staff gonna address that high pick and roll? They basically had no answer for it in their last game. Diba? I think it came down, diba, to the last shot of Harold, and still nag-drop coverage pa rin ng UST and allowed Harold Alarcon just to get to his mid-range and knock down the fadeaway over Mark Liemit. How are they gonna address that? How is UST gonna defend that? Is Colin Sakoe gonna blitz? He has not blitzed a lot. He has not done a hard show a lot in pick and rolls this season. He's mostly been a drop coverage guy. Is he going to continue to do that against the high pick and roll of UP? Is Harold Alarcon finally going to get out of his slump? It's been kind of a mini two-game slump. Has not really shown up, as I would say. But I think he will show up. I think Harold has a big game. He has big game genes, si Harold, and I think he will show up in this game. I want him to. I've been saying this for a long time. I've said Harold Alarcon is him like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. Tagal ko na sinasabi, pero
sinasabi since that pre-season. Phil Oil pre-season breakout.
Tapos palagi nilang may disappearing act si Harold, and again, he's shown it here again. But I hope he shows up. He came up clutch actually yung last season against UST in the Final Four. I think he hit a clutch basket to put away UST. So I'm looking for the same Harold. I think he will be the X factor for this UP team. For UST, you picked Crisostomo already. Give me Asido. Because outside shooting is important, spacing is important. And if he can knock 3 or 4 threes down, I think that's going to be big for the UST Growling Tigers. They do shoot a ton of threes. And if they can consistently knock them down, especially with the amount of doubles that Colin Sakoe is going to demand, they're going to have a lot of open looks. And if they can knock them down, that will be big for the UST Growling Tigers. Okay, we're almost at 50 minutes. Maui, gut check time. Prediction, UP versus UST. Who's going to the finals?
I'll go with UP. I think I've said this even when they were 0-2. We've said this on the podcast. There's a stronger team. They're top to bottom, the strongest team in the UAP. They've been so the past few seasons. I just think that they have so many weapons. They have so many options. They have so much versatility on the floor. I think the only thing that can prevent them from losing is if Colin Sakoe draws probably 15 or more fouls. I think UST has enough. UP has enough in the tank. They have so much experience. They have so much on the line too. Because the Maroon 5, as they say, your favorite, are graduating. And I think they want to end on a high note, and getting to the finals is something that they are looking forward to. And I think they have to end it again in one game. Because much like a new UST, much like LaSalle, UST is a very dangerous team as we've seen throughout the season. They are probably the best scoring team in the UAP. They can score 120. We've seen that in the UAP, and you don't want to force another game against them. But at the end of the day, I think UP has everything they need to get to the finals.
So UP in one game or UP in 2 games?
I want to say 2, so we get more games, but my head is telling me 1. I think UP will close it out in 1 game.
Okay. Ang ganda dahil magkaiba yung pick natin nung LaSalle. NU matchup. Pero dito magkapareho tayo. I am picking the UP Fighting Maroons. I had them as a champion in our predictions episode before this season. I'm sticking to that. I'm doubling down. I think UP will make the finals. But I'm saying it'll go 2 games. I want UST to get 1. Again, I'm biased for more games. Wala tayong manok Maui sa laban na to eh. Wala na tayong Ateneo Blue Eagles eh. So, we can go wild with our predictions. I don't care. Well, so I am biased.
Give us more games.
Yes, we
2
want
games
more
for
games.
both.
Diba? Yung para mas mahaba. Mas mahaba ang season. Yung mas marami tayo pag-uusapan.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine this scenario? Diba the season has been so crazy? Can you imagine if the top 2 seeds both get dethroned?
Oh, mo nga. Diba?
I think if there's a season for that to happen, I think this is the biggest chance.
I don't think we've ever had a 3-4 matchup ever. I can't remember such a situation where the number 3 and number 4's team upset both the top 2 seeds. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. But yeah, I'm going with the UP Fighting Maroons in 2 games. I think UST will get 1 and we'll have 2 rubber matches. I think either on Saturday or on Sunday. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers. So we'll have more games. But yeah, I'm doubling down on the UP Fighting Maroons. Again, I've said this. I believe in defense, and UP has the better defense. Between them and UST, I believe in the defense of UP, and when they choose to lock up,
wins championships.
Exactly. When they choose to lock up on you on defense, it's pretty hard to score, and I think that will be the case. I'm hoping for good games. I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch on Wednesday Kabamawi. Siguro hindi, no? It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. Where are the games on Wednesday? I'm not even sure if it's Araneta or Mall of Asia.
I will have to check. I think it's Araneta. Correct us na lang if we're wrong. But yeah, medyo malabo ako on Wednesday if we're gonna be able to watch live at the Column. It is a Wednesday. But yun, if ever we do get to watch, see you all at the games. Cheer your heart out. Get some merch from Varsity Lifestyle Co. to cheer on your schools, to rep your schools. And remember, like, comment, subscribe to us here on Boleros. We highly appreciate it. It helps us out. Sammy will still be watching. He's currently out of town, but he'll still be watching. Thank you all so much for watching. See you again. Hopefully, we get 2 game days for the Final Four. See ya.